UFOs that gain energy from tornadoes.
What is that? It's a straight up UFO or something.
Strange cryptic butterfly angels that saved lives during the Joplin tornado of 2011. Ancient Native American tornado legends.
An ancient Native American legend speaks of the dead man walking.
And a mysterious boy who showed up out of nowhere to warn a town of impending danger, never to be seen again.
This boy who came to Hazelhurst in 1966 and predicted several tragedies that would fall on the town. Residents in the area say the boy was an angel or a prophet.
Welcome back. You know, it's Halloween weekend, which means I'm thinking all things spooky and supernatural. As if tornadoes were not scary enough. A cloud that comes down from the sky and can kill you, that sounds like a monster. But we're going to talk about some of the more legendary, mythical, folklore aspects of tornadoes, because there's a lot. We're talking aliens, UFOs, ancient legends. We're going to talk about all sorts of things. So full disclaimer, I personally do not believe in these sort of things, but I mean, if you do, that's totally cool. I mean, who knows? I don't know anything. Is there a supernatural side to tornadoes? That's what we're here to explore. But be sure to subscribe if you're into tornado content or natural phenomena. Oh, yeah, I got a haircut. On May 3rd, 1999, one of the most powerful tornadoes ever recorded hit the city of Moore, Oklahoma.
Tornadic warning continues back southwest Oklahoma.
This tornado tore a path from Bridge Creek all the way up through Moore and finally through Dell City. This F5 unfortunately took the lives of 41 people. Now, during the event, legendary meteorologist Gary England and the crew at News 9 kept the Oklahoma City metropolitan area informed and safe.
Deadly, serious. Take your tornado precautions. Do it now.
However, during the broadcast, the helicopter cam appeared to pick up a strange cylindrical tube that can be seen flashing across the screen. The tube only appears on the helicopter footage. Anyways, the tube got enough attention that the History Channel had a show called MonsterQuest, and they literally had Gary England on the show to talk about this little tube that flashed across the screen for like 2 seconds.
Filmed in May 1999 and brought to the attention of meteorologist Gary England, this rod appears to fly through a tornado.
Looks like a cylindrical tube, but it's a flash. It's a flash that appears in the frame. Bang, moved very quickly.
Okay, this straight up looks like a bug. I'm a little skeptical. I don't think Gary England thinks this, but the MonsterQuest people think that it's like some sort of alien that's like way up in the clouds.
That's an amazing shot.
What was it doing in a thunderstorm that turned out to produce the worst tornado in history? Didn't make a lot of sense.
But to me, it just looks like it's like in front of the camera, just like for a second. A piece of dust.
Didn't make a lot of sense.
I actually went back and watched a lot of the footage, which you can watch, by the way. It's pretty interesting. You can watch the entire event. It's on YouTube, and it was uploaded this year. Anyways, I went back and I watched the footage. The helicopter footage is so staticky. There's like so much static, so much interference. There's probably some bugs, or who knows. I don't know. I could be wrong, but maybe it's something else. Aliens? A visitor from the fourth dimension?
Didn't make a lot of sense.
Now, something that's a little more interesting, and this one's kind of weird. I'll say that. This one's a little more believable. So, moving ahead to 2013, during the Newcastle Moore EF5 tornado. Moore's not a great place to live if you don't like tornadoes. But anyway, moving ahead to 2013, apparently on May 18th, 2 days before the tornado, there was some light up in the sky that people were like taking notice of. One person described the lights like this. The sky was filled with strange objects of different sizes and colors. My girlfriend was so freaked out that she almost wrecked the car. There were multiple crafts with 3 lights in a triangle shape that zigzagged through the sky. Some of the small white balls would zoom in and a big black cloud would appear and the object would zoom away very fast. Now what's interesting is that there's multiple lights all together, so obviously this wasn't just one aircraft, this was like 8 lights. Second thing was, it was 2 days before the tornado, so It's kind of weird that it happened before one of the most historic days in Moore's history. Now, this was captured by someone named Terrah Kaser. She actually filmed these lights, and she actually uploaded it onto YouTube on May 19th, a day before the May 20th EF5 tornado. Obviously, she didn't take advantage of the event. You know, she just uploaded it, and then the next day, one of the most historic days in Moore ever happened. Kind of weird. Here are my theories. You ready? Ball lightning. Ball lightning is crazy, by the way. I don't even understand it, so we'll have to talk about that sometime in the future. Now, worth noting, there is an Air Force base up near Del City named Tinker Air Force Base, and who knows, maybe they were working on some experimental aircraft. So the theory with UFOs and tornadoes is that apparently tornadoes obviously have a lot of energy. In fact, they have more energy than any other atmospheric event per like square meter. So the idea is some sort of terrestrial being or some sort of evolved creature that we can't see actually uses these tornadoes to gain energy. But obviously we don't have the technology to, you know, use a tornado to gather energy, but maybe some alien civilization does have the technology, and they are zooming in, taking that, and then leaving.
You know, doesn't make a lot of sense.
So what about Native American myths? So back in the day, there was a TLC documentary about the 1997 F5 tornado that hit the town of Jarrell, Texas. Now, the Jarrell, Texas tornado is a very famous tornado, one of the most powerful tornadoes ever recorded. During the documentary, the narrator talks about a Native American legend that depicts a dead man walking, which essentially is a multi-vortex tornado that looks like a man walking. And apparently the legend is that if you see this, you're a dead man.
An ancient Native American legend speaks of the dead man walking. If you see him in a tornado, you are about to die. The townsfolk of Jarrell can now see the arms and legs of a multi-vortex tornado approaching. The dead man has just walked into Jarrell.
The dead man walking photo, holy goodness, it's so scary. I mean, it seriously looks freaky as heck. You can clearly see two legs and what looks like an arm or like a sickle just coming out. It's definitely frightening. This legend, however, is probably not based on any truth. They most likely made it up to be dramatic for the documentary. It's probably not true. However, there are thousands of different myths. There are thousands of different Native American cultures. It's very diverse and there's lots of legends and stories. So who knows, maybe it is based on truth, but I could not find anything. Now there's also something called the Cornstalk Curse. So essentially the Cornstalk Curse is related to Chief Cornstalk of the Shawnee Nation. Now he was killed in 1777, and some people seem to have the idea that he had a dying curse that he was going to put on the land of West Virginia and around the border between West Virginia and Ohio. The most famous example of this is the Mothman. The Mothman apparently is responsible for many misfortunes, including the Silver Bridge disaster of 1960, which killed 46 people. However, not as well known is the Shinston F4 tornado of June 23rd, 1944. Now, 104 people were killed during this tornado, and it is the 15th deadliest tornado on record. What's interesting is this is in West Virginia. I don't know if you've seen my state tier list map, but West Virginia was not very high on the list. So this is pretty rare. Is it connected to Chief Cornstalk and the Cornstalk Curse? Well, probably not. Alright, so the Joplin butterfly people. Now, I've made lots of Joplin tornado videos in the past, and I didn't even know about this, but in one particular video, I was roaming around on Street View, checking things out, and I noticed there was like butterfly symbolism throughout the entire city. I noticed like a little thing on one of the lots where someone had passed away. I noticed some murals that had been put up, and I only found out later that the butterfly kind of became a symbol for Joplin. Why exactly did the butterfly become a symbol for Joplin? Well, several people have claimed that during the tornado, while they were sheltering, as the tornado was passing over and things were flying around and things were crazy, they say that they witnessed some sort of butterfly being come from the sky to either protect them or to usher someone who had died up into heaven or up into the sky.
In this damaged building, Emily says she felt a calming presence. Emily sent us these photos.
It's worth noting that most of these stories come from children. Maybe they made it up as a way for them to cope. Who knows?
Some say guardian angels during the tornado are so prevalent, kids draw them in school.
But Joplin, keep in mind, is located in the Bible Belt of the U.S., which essentially is very Christian in Joplin and throughout that part of the U.S., Arkansas and whatnot. So a lot of the locals actually believe that perhaps the butterfly people were actually angels coming down to either protect them or to bring the people up into heaven who died. It's worth noting that the Joplin City Council decided that the butterfly would be a symbol for them after the recovery, because the idea was, oh, a butterfly is like a beautiful, like, you know how it works when they go in the cocoon and they are born and they're more beautiful, or I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. That was what they wanted for Joplin. Joplin got hit by a tornado and they wanted to rebuild and come out the other side like a butterfly. So I think that's really where the story comes in. And Joplin they've done a great job rebuilding. They have some pretty sweet murals. This one right here is named On the Wings of Butterflies by AJ and Jordan Wood. And then there's also this one, The Butterfly Effect, Dreams Take Flight by Dave Lowenstein. Another sweet thing that they built was the Butterfly Memorial Garden. This is located in Cunningham Park and it was built as a memorial to the day. And I did a little virtual tour online and it's very cool. Now, what about this strange boy who visited a town and warned them of impending danger? Finally, let's talk about the boy with the pop bottle on his head. The legend is that there was a 12-year-old boy who always had a pop bottle on his head. People would go up to him and he would be able to tell them when they were born, when they were going to die, and all sorts of different facts about them. He also predicted that there would be a disaster heading straight for Hazelhurst, Mississippi. Well, eventually, on January 23rd, 1969, his prophecy would come true, and a major F4 tornado would hit the town of Hazelhurst and kill over 30 people. And apparently after the tornado, the boy disappeared, never to be found again. Steve Collins made a documentary about this story, and he actually went around and interviewed several people from the town who remember this boy. He talked about the story on James Spann's podcast. Definitely interesting. Well, there you have it. Definitely fun for the Halloween weekend. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more tornado videos. I have a non-tornado video coming out. So, I mean, it's still about natural phenomena. So it's still related, but it's not about tornadoes. It's coming out next. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Love y'all. See you in the next video.